Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. It's your old buddy, the guardian of chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this, coming to you live to take 25 feet below the surface of the earth for another special episodic YouTube adventure with story time. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. Now, the voice is a little scratchy, a little throaty, a little smoky, the golden smog, because I've been pumping out content over 100 to 130 videos every week on this channel. Nobody works harder for you than I do, because this isn't a fucking podcast. It's a show. Shout out to my mods, the OTS Tribal Queen. We're waiting for your return, Jen. We hope you're doing well, and I know you're watching. And of course, my brother from another mother, there is no other, who's holding it down, keeping it real, and maintaining on this channel. And that's Austin Nance. Shout out to my other brothers in the IWC who have their own channels, and I want you to go over and watch their live watch-alongs, whether it be the Chi-Town Smark, Heel Jesse, who's got a big announcement when it comes to TNA, or whether it's my brother Hooligrim over on his channel. Hoolie, I hope you're doing well. Of course, Big O, Otis over at Big O Gaming, also subscribe to his channel. We have Hoodie Rob Bebe, aka Funny Rob Bebe, who does the live watch-alongs. Check out Bebe. And then there's Flip the Script at the Scripps Wrestling Federation, who also does the live streaming watch-alongs. And then there's the co-hosts, the Enforcer, the Big Man, Future. I hope you're doing well, Future. Throw up the double buys. Don't forget my good buddies over at the Wrestling Council, Comic Book Bob, Hollywood, and of course, one unbelievable illustrator / artist, and that would be Here's Johnny. And then, of course, my close personal friend, a co-worker of mine at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, one heck of a historian, interviewer, and play-by-play commentator, and that would be Rick Del Santo from the Rick Del Santo Show. So check out these guys that have their own channels, that do a lot of live streams and interviews. Very solid group of guys. I also want to acknowledge the bigger platforms that I moderate for. Of course, there's JD from New York and Off the Script, the #1 fucking podcast on YouTube. And then there's the OG of podcasts, the OG of the IWC, and that would be Don Tony, who's been around since the 90s doing this, of the Don Tony and Kevin Castle Show. It doesn't get any better with the sit down in DT. Rest in peace, Kevin Castle. We'll never forget your brother. There's also Jason Solomon, the Solomonster, who has an unbelievable podcast. Of course, there's other podcasters out there as well. That would be, as the aforementioned, Chi-Town Smark. Follow his channel. And you know the usuals and the regulars. There's author and podcaster Brian Solomon from Vanguard Podcasting, the Vanguard brand, at Shut Up and Wrestle. And he just released The Irresistible Force, the book on Gorilla Monsoon. It doesn't get much better than Brian Solomon. Now, you guys know that I'm an avid listener of whether it be Kayfabe Commentaries, Title Match Network, Jim Cornette with Brian Last, Dutch Mantel, and of course, Victoire Podcast with the Master Amir and Power and Glory, the podcast. Pretty Paul Roma, and his co-host, my friend and brothers for 40 years, Mario Mancini. Those are the shows that I follow. Those are the podcasts that I listen to, where you're going to find out everything from history to current events in AEW, WWE, TNA Impact, MLW, the NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AAA, CMLL. You can't go wrong with any of those podcasts that I just mentioned. And then, of course, here, where there's almost 6,500 videos. Navigate the playlist, 1.5 million total views. We're a handful away from 3,000 subscribers. Become a member. It's only $2.99. It's a great way to support this channel. And of course, it's free if you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Doesn't get much better than that. Besides here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel for Chaos Corner, follow me over on Twitter, aka X, at Big Daddy GOC, and the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. Follow me over on Facebook if you want a little more personal connection. The first account is in honor of my heritage, Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. It's a mouthful, but you can find it. And then there's the mainstay, where I promote everything from Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling to opinions and commentaries, more of a personal look into my family and friends. And that would be Jay Brony, just like it sounds, Jay Brony. For all you geeks and goons and neckbeards and mouth breathers and virgins and fans with the brain of a dehydrated BB. No offense, man. Kayfabe, what I say. Lighten up. In order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you, because there's 3 types of people in this world. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the GOC that make things happen. I shouldn't be throwing up the double Y. I haven't been to the gym. And so sit back and relax. I have a lot of content coming out. I want you to, again, check out the playlist. Go over to the community section, the post section here, and you'll see all the stuff that I report on almost daily, or at least weekly, here on the channel. On X, I post just about daily. Same thing on Facebook. I'm still live covering and reporting on the top products from the WWE and AEW, especially the PLEs and the pay-per-views. And then don't get me started on that, where they have just eliminated all the common man and the blue-collar families and fathers and kids and grandsons and grandmas and wives and everybody that wants to go. I mean, you've just crushed it. Support independent pro wrestling. It's the backbone of this fucking industry, of this business. You guys will not regret it. Family of 4, you can get there for $100 with decent seats. Usually it's much smaller venues, merch, a snack. Meanwhile, they're charging $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 for tickets, and for the WWE, the money-hungry sons of bitches, and AEW, ESPN apps, HBO Max, pay-per-views, streaming. It's all a bunch of horse shit. So I wanted to give you guys the opening monologue. Check out the drive time shows here on the channel. Check out the early morning shows here on the channel, the midday shows, the late show, the late shows. They're usually an hour or 2 hours, and it's not content that has anything to do with pro wrestling, which is what this channel is based around. Basically. Yeah, that makes sense. You're not going to listen. Entertainment personified. I'm trying to give out different content, original content. You'll see classics on here, talk shows, Dinner for Two, which is the show I do with my wife. A lot of family videos, home videos, current matches, in-ring action, everything from PAPW. You can't go wrong here. This is a unique channel, no better than anyone else, just unique. And you know why? Face to the product, no editing, no green screens, raw dog, as I always say, and I just push it out here. My over 50 years as a researcher, a historian, an agent, a producer, a promoter, a ticket seller, a hanger-up of flyers, a photographer, the ring crew, a fan, a smark, a mark. That's right, I said it, a mark. We're all marks. I consider that to be a compliment. We've all been a mark at one time or the other. And of course, my 40-year journey in this industry and my 30-year career as an in-ring pro wrestling manager who took the fucking bumps, came out 2 and 3 times a night on different events all over this country, from Maine to New York, to the shadows of Titan Towers, to Vegas, to Arizona, to Chicago, to Indiana, and all areas in between. Across I-84, up and down 91, from 95, as I said, from Maine to Florida. You guys know the background. Go up to the description here. You'll see what I'm all about and why I'm here. This channel started in 2017. I didn't start doing regular shows until probably the last 5 years. And you see the amount of it, the chains. They're heavy, and this is about my life, actually. 25 years behind the walls. You know what I'm talking about. Working with society's worst. Serving this community. Keeping you folks safe. That's what I did. Bounty hunter. Repo man. Private investigator. Private security. Private bodyguard. Crowd control. Bouncer. Doorman. Up and down the East Coast. That's what I've done. I'm a people person. Interpersonal communication skills. College for 5 years. Don't judge the book by the cover. I don't give a fuck about your race, your color, your identity, your sexual orientation, your creed, your culture, where you're from, what you look like. I don't care. Don't push it on me. I don't push it on you. And that's what I'm here to talk about, my opening monologue, to be a little more serious. And most of you that are regulars here, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when you come here, you learn the hard facts, reality, truth. And yeah, I cuss a lot, and I apologize for that. So you're better off when you walk out of here than when you fucking walked in here. So you can hold a conversation at the water cooler, the holiday season coming up, your next venue, your next pub, restaurant, tavern, gathering, barbecue, whatever it is and wherever you hang out. So you know what you're talking about. I don't want to be hypocritical here because I'm cussing like a sailor and I'm repenting for it, but stay mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually fit. Because if he's for us, no one else can be against us. None of this would be possible without our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's just the way it is. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Situational awareness. Stick up for what you believe in. And be who you are. Don't try to be something else. I don't want to get into politics, religion, and all kinds of different things here on the channel. This is my opening monologue. This is current. It's Thursday. I don't know, what's the date? September 25th? Heading into the weekend? Right around the corner from the holidays? Baseball season, my New York Metropolitans. I don't know, was there 5 games left in the season? They had the best record in baseball a month and a half back. Juan Soto's tearing it up. The polar bear Alonso's tearing it up. I mean, guys are contributing from Beatty to Nimmo to Alvarez behind the plate, McNeil. Don't forget my girl, talking about my girl, my girl. No, he's not my girl, but that's his walk-up song, Lindor. There's a lot going on with the Metropolitans. We have to make the playoffs. It's been a while. Our pitching's been suspect. Offense too, Mendy's doing okay. It would be a disappointing season. So I believe we're a game and a half up on the wild card on the Cincinnati Reds. Speaking of Cincinnati, shout out and tribute to WKRP in Cincinnati. Johnny Midnight, Venus, Flytrap, Herb, Mr. Carlson? No? Lonnie Anderson? A.K.A. Jennifer? I don't know. Tired of packing and unpacking, up and down, up around the dial. Maybe you and me were never meant to be, but baby, think of me once in a while. I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati. Sitcom from the 80s based on radio. You know how much I love radio. So I wanted to come on here before I get into, I got some pro wrestling talk coming up, some history. We're going to be looking into Brian Solomon's book, which we've covered some of it here before. We're going to be going and referring to Pro Wrestling Fact. Unbelievable. It's all that's left to know about the world's most entertaining spectacle by Brian Solomon. As I said, who's, had everything from the original Sheik's book to working for WWE Magazine, working in Titan Towers itself, to now the Irresistible Force and Shut Up and Wrestle. He's right from here in the Constitution State, the Nutmeg State, if you will, in the greater New England tri-state Northeast area, in the shadows of Titan Towers. Who better than Brian Solomon? So we're going to be referring to this. Also, Keith Elliott Greenberg, noted author. The chains are falling off. That means it's almost time to wrap up the monologue and get down to brass tacks. Oh, stand by. Keith Elliott Greenberg, noted author of several different books, reporter, and we're going to be referring to WrestleMania 3 and the year it all changed. Bigger, better, badder. You guys know I have a vast collection down here in the Vault of Chaos Chronicles. Go back and check out the short story I put up yesterday, written by Kinky Friedman. If you remember Kinky Friedman, he used to be a frequent guest on the Imus show back in the day. The book was released in 2005, Texas Stories of a Texas Childhood, talking about being on the bus with Willie Nelson. I also have a couple of other books not associated with the world of wrestling that I'm going to be covering on this channel as well. Stay here. Okay? We got a lot going on. And yeah, a little tribute to my boys in the background who I had a brief running feud with in 05-06 and a series of tables matches for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. Devon and Bully, a.k.a. Bubba, the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, Hall of Famer, two-time Hall of Famers, whatever you want to call them, hosted Busted Open Radio, Busted Open After Dark, Pro Wrestling Nation. Just got a chance to run into the boys again this past weekend at the EC3, Eastern Convention, Collectibles Convention at the Mohegan Sun. So it was nice to go through some of the videos that we had and talk about some of the bouts and remind Bully Ray what he said to me, give Big Daddy 5 spots, so fuck up 4 of them. I consider that to be a compliment coming from Bully. So they were very cool to hang out with. True gentlemen, legit badasses, perhaps one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So when it was our rivalry against the Dudleys, it was here in the Northeast. I was in the corner of Oman Tortuga and Diablo Santiago, the Outcast Killers. Now, I believe 3 or 4 of the bouts are up here on the channel. So everything I talk about, you'll see it. It's right here. Whether I was in the ring with all the guys from ECW like Jason Knight, Balls Mahoney, Homicide, Joel Gertner, the list goes on and on. Tommy Dreamer, The Sandman, Tony DeVito, John Diamond, or it's the 25, 30, 35, I've lost count, of WWE Hall, of WWF Hall of Famers. From Bruno Sammartino to King Kong Bundy to Sergeant Slaughter to the Bushwhackers to Jerry the King Lawler, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Rikishi, Umaga, Yokozuna. The list goes on and on and on. I'm so blessed and humbled and fortunate and grateful. There's many others that I can mention if they, my mind's like a lazy Susan, it'll come back around. I have amnesia and deja vu at the same time. I think I've forgotten this before. A lot of other stars you know, the Haas brothers, Charlie and the late great Russ Haas. Of course, the late great Umaga Ekifatu, which I already talked about. The illustrious Johnny Stewart from the AWA, as well as the twin turbos Heaven and Hell from the World Wrestling Zone of Road Warrior fame as well. Two incredible men who did a lot for me. Actually, it's because of them that I got to work with Terry Funk in Hammond, Indiana, in his hometown. I'll never forget it. I can never repay you. The trips out to Chicago, Indiana, Las Vegas, it was truly a dream come true. Someday I'll have to sit down and try to make an actual list of the guys I've been in the ring with and in the locker room with, you know, whether it be a Luger, Sting, or Ron Simmons, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, or Rick Rude, the original Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika, you know, Jim Cornette, Captain Lou Albano. It really is a who's who, and not to mention, you know, guys like Low Key and Reckless Youth and Homicide, as I said, and there's just many more. Judas Young, Kevin Landry, the Giant Primo Carnera, Little Nunzio, Big Nunzio, the FBI, Big Sal E. Graziano. How many more guys can I think of? The Power Company, the Condor. It's just really, as I sit here, you know, just incredible. As I sit here, I already said the Power Company from WCW. There's so many guys that how can I possibly think of it? You know, the Backseat Boys, Donnie B, being able to work for, or actually, I guess you could say for, not them personally, but the group I was working for, John Cena, Matt Hardy. I mean, the list goes on, and leading over into the different, you know, being able to work with Mick Foley more than a once or twice, a handful of times. Being able to be on the same shows and pick the brains of Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes. Again, I'm going to write it down someday. I really will. And, you know, being able to be on national TV on the Jerry Springer Show as Big Daddy, being on the #1 entertainment show back in the day, Talk Soup, Clip of the Day, Clip of the Weekend. Fortunate, like you wouldn't, being in the movie Six Figures, you know, an urban movie and located in a strip club, and the robbery of a strip club by the employees on the biggest night of the year went straight to DVD. So the experience from that, being involved with the green room and being on the same shows of folks like Wormser from Revenge of the Nerds, Andrew Cassase, or Michael Winslow from the Police Academy, John Amos, the father from Good Times, legendary actor, John Goodman, Antonio Banderas, Rick Barry, Ken Patera, Don Morocco, Glacier Ray Lloyd, Pretty Paul Roma, the late great Del Wilkes, Pastor Andy McDaniel, you know, Bill DeMott, aka Hugh Morris, the funny man. More than I can even imagine being able to be in that project. And, you know, there's many other stars from Timothy Busfeld to Sally Kirkland. I can't even remember all the world famous athletes. To throw in the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, both world's strongest men, Ken Patera and Mark Henry. To be on the same shows and share the screen and thoughts with all these unbelievable actors, put all this together with the wrestling journey, radio, where I started off my internship at 16 or 17 years old at WLNV 90.1 FM, Connecticut School of Broadcasting Scholarship Awardee, you know, being part of helping running the most legendary gym in this area next to the Quest facility, and that would be Kenny Fontano's The Muscle Factory. The gyms here in this area, whether it was the Quest, the original training facility with Tony Altamori, Kenny Passarillo, Mario Mancini, Paul Roma, incredible. going over to the Phoenix gym and all the legendary workers that came through there and athletes, the Phoenix gym, and then of course the gym that I managed for Kenny Fontano, strongman who benched 660 pounds. Guys like Bobby Pratt, Lloyd Collins, Mike Kelly, Danny D'Erico, the Billy Parente, 140 pounds, Billy Parente, 145 pounds, and bench pressed 415. Let that sink in. They had the over 500-pound bench press club there at the Muscle Factory. And then there was Gene. Gene had to be about, 6'1", 390 pounds. He squatted almost 900 pounds at the Muscle Factory. And let's not even forget to mention the martial arts training, especially with martial arts instructor for the state in the prison system, correction system, Randy Roach, who got it on with everybody and went heads up with everyone from Billy Blanks to Michael Jai White and everybody in between, if I got the names correctly. Research what I'm talking about in the history that I'm giving to you right here. And I wanted to give you a background. Again, a lot of people get out to me and I get in touch with me and I don't get a chance to do this. And I wanted to do some of it today in the opening monologue. And of course, being able to work with Nitro, aka Dan from the American Gladiators, when he was the part owner, with Melvin Black out of Eastern Illinois University, when they owned Event Pro Incorporated, where we worked with everybody from Rod Stewart to Metallica, Bobby Brown, the Doobie Brothers, Jimmy Buffett, LL Cool J, Slick Rick, De La Soul. What other names can I come up with? There's too numerous to mention. Pat Travers, Steve Miller, and then working as a roadie for Crucible, aka Second Wind. Chris, my brother, the Team Viscera, whose brother is Michael Viscera, MVP Project, who played with Yngwie Malmsteen. Research all this. This is what I want you guys to do. So being able to work as a roadie for them, and again, specifically with the Tubes, Foreigner, Steve Miller, those days, and being able to working at the legendary Toad's place, which everyone's just been talking about because the Foo Fighters were there just a couple of days ago. David Grohl, the Foo Fighters, I'm not a huge fan, but they're very talented. And you know the history of Toads. Billy Joel, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, the list goes on and on. A venue that only holds 800 or 900 people on the legendary Yale campus, Toad's Place. And of course, I worked there with Big Tank. I had 2 stints there in the 80s. Early 80s and late 80s to work at Toads. Because you guys know that I was a doorman, aka bouncer, from the early 80s all the way up into the late 2000s. That's why I'm injured. But I'm coming back. I told you all those injuries. So thanks for being here for this opening monologue. I really appreciate you guys. We're coming up on 30 minutes. I wanted to have an extensive monologue and just be able to vent and talk about what's going on, because we're all going through hard times. Illegal immigration, everything that's going on in this country, from violent protests to crime, murders, assassinations, the government, AI, wars in Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, Gaza, terrorists, the environment, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods. I mean, really, the economy, prices, the amount of, I don't want to get any copyright strikes here when you talk about this stuff, because they're very sensitive here. I don't care what side you're on, liberal, right, conservative, liberal left, center, independent, libertarian, center right, center left, I don't care what you are. I really don't. But we're in trouble. I believe we're living in biblical times. Oh, we're always living in biblical times, chaos. You guys get it. This is real talk. This is reality. This is life. No other podcaster, because this is a show, comes out and talks real like this about life. And that's what I try to do in these monologues. Besides all the comedy and chicanery and entertainment put aside. Temporary distraction, stress reliever, whatever you want to call it. I'll say that to say this. Because I tell it like it is. Come on back. And again, remember, if you're here, hit the like button. Is anybody hanging around for the whole show, with the exception of my brother, Austin Nance? And I'm hoping that Bama roll tide, brother. You know, I'm a big college football fan. And over on X, I'll report on top 25 games. Can't go wrong with that. College football, very exciting. One of the best. Major League Baseball, slow game for most of you. It's my love, like pro wrestling. They go hand in hand with me. The NHL, hockey, can't get enough of excitement and physicality there. That's what I'm all about. I watch everything, just like music. I listen to everything, but that's my genre. That's my wheelhouse. Don't you dare miss it.